Give me your thoughts on that. Let me introduce you to an up-and-coming voice of the kind of poetic kind. We've had a lot to celebrate over the last few days, of course. There's a new addition to the royal family. It's been a year since London hosted the Olympics, and the anniversary games have definitely raised London spirits. It's only right, then, that we pay homage to some homegrown London talent in the form of 22-year-old, make sure I get that right, 22-year-old Nego True, who's a spoken word artist from Leighton and joins me now in the studio. Nego True, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. It's good to be here. It's
a real pleasure. And the reason you're here is because my producer tonight, Kim Davis, was out and about. I don't know what she does with her evenings, you know. She doesn't tell me. She just goes out raving day after day after day, and she bucks up on you performing at some event.
Yeah, it was crazy the way it happened, because the people that organised it, shout out to Liz at Swallow Our Word, she was organising an event, and she said to me, would you be able to do me a favour and perform? And at first I think she didn't think I was going to do it, but she's helped me out with times before, so I said I'll be there no matter what, like no matter the circumstances, I'll be there. So I went there to perform. I didn't know who was going to be there. I just thought I'll be in and out. And then
and which venue was that?
It was really small. I can't even remember the venue.
Where in London was it?
King's Cross.
King's Cross. Okay, about King's Cross. Incidentally, you should really do this in poetry, don't you? You should do this in rhyme and metre. You shouldn't just talk to me in... Or are you going to call this... what did Shakespeare call it when he wasn't rhyming?
So, to be honest, I could respond to you with rhyming words. It doesn't really hurt. It's not really difficult for me to do. I mean, my name's Nego True. So if you want a response in rhymes or something I can do for you, it's not really difficult.
I thought you were going to stick to the blank verse. But yeah, okay. You respond in any way that you want. You performed at Wembley Arena, is it?
Yeah, I performed at Wembley Arena. It was early this year, in February. Yeah.
Was that your biggest gig ever?
I wouldn't necessarily say that was my biggest gig ever, because I've done gigs. For example, I did Enfield Grammar School the other day. Big shout out to Mark Happy.
Good for you.
I did Enfield Grammar School. That was around, I believe it was around 1,000+ people.
Good.
Yeah, to be honest, my biggest gig was probably in my hometown in Leighton, and that was only about 80 to 100 people, but it was all people I'd grown up with. So for them to see me doing what I was doing, it was more beautiful than however many you want to say.
And they're your hardest critics as well. If you're not rocking the house, I imagine as well.
Definitely, they'll shut you down, but they love me.
We're not going to shut you down tonight. In fact, we're going to do the opposite of shutting you down. We're going to open the doors for you. Do you want to kick off with something that you've got in mind? Maybe a tribute to the royal baby, something that rhymes with George, or otherwise. You weren't prepared for that, were you?
So I'm prepared for everything.
Okay,
but I can kick off with a poem or two.
Yeah,
I could give you one called "Starts Early," and this is to help people have an understanding of the sort of lifestyle that a lot of people seem to rather fear rather than try and understand.
Keep it clean.
Everything's clean, 110%. But this one's called "Starts Early." I'll go. It doesn't start up on the road, it really starts up in the house. It didn't start up on postcode wars, it really started on the couch. The hood mindset starts early, whether your parents were or weren't around. And people assume postcode wars are really about postcodes. I'll be honest, none of us are up for dying for a town. And if you only turn road when you start hanging around the road, then you're the definition of a modern day clone. Because everybody's who they are because they were molded in their home. That's not to blame the parents or lack of, but understand that without a correct understanding of love, most postcode wars are genuinely young people showing their understanding of love when it cracks off. Postcode wars are never actually about postcodes. It's always personal. More the terms fighting for your own. Let me paint a clearer picture. Show my borough on the road. If you're brought up around people, they're always going to feel like family. No one started off by standing outside corner shops and bagging. It was park on the weekend, after school clubs and summer sports schemes. Friends turned to family before we knew we were classified as scum. Before we knew they called this the hood. Way before anyone got their hands on any weapons. We were having sleepovers and seeing who could do the most kick-ups in the park. Football on the pavement. Kick the ball on the wall and run past. We called everyone's mum, and everybody's mother in the area called everyone son. So this is a family, right? But picture someone has a fight with one of your family, right? Or a fight breaks out and the boy you call your brother is getting punched in the face. Do you stand there and take it? Or does your mindset change? The understanding of loving another human is something everyone in my area accepts. But loving another human when that human is fighting with your friends? See, friendships were created. Postcodes were given. We labelled each other family, and everyone looking from the outside labelled us based on where we're living, taking the issues from the home into the playground. Hurt people identify with hurt people. The top guy isn't there because he's the hardest on the road. More times he hasn't experienced love, this is all he really knows. The hood is like his home, so he always feels alone. Let's be honest, we knew he was bad breed from primary school days. This doesn't start with a gang in an estate, it starts with underage strugglers that live in love, but don't understand that love goes hand in hand with grace. We search for success, but our definition's corrupt. We look to buy into the image of success, buying into a broken dream with every buck. Go broke trying not to look broke. That's what happens when your mindset's broken. Friends dying in the night, so we're living for the day. Sit down with the biggest gangster, you know, I promise you he's got a dream. But at the same time, I promise you he don't believe. He's seen more growing up than a so-called normal kid. And for a second, forget the car, forget the crib, the bandana and everything you think, and understand that everything you don't see made him everything he is.
Whoa, that has knocked me for 6. Oh, that is impressive. This young boy has just performed those few words, as deep as they are, off the top of his head, but it's the content that we need to register, and that was good. Nego True. I can see why you are true to your words every single time. I want to publish that, by the way. No, I'm kidding. It reminds me of... Have you read Prisoner to the Streets yet?
I haven't, but I was taking through it the other day, actually. Someone was talking to me, like, someone gave me a copy. I'm going to
give you a copy. You got a copy already?
I've got a copy. My little sister's been reading it, actually.
Okay. You want to read that, because what you've just been talking about is directly the content of that book as well. Now, when you perform something like that on a stage, particularly when people don't come from your ends, as it were, don't know this, well, spoken word is, let's face it, how can I say this politely?
Yeah.
Rap is patronised by a lot of young black guys, young black kids. Yeah. Spoken words, isn't that slightly different in the demographics of the people who attend spoken word? I'm not trying to be offensive here in any way, but I'm just trying to be honest and frank.
In a sense, it comes across soft.
I don't mean that. I just mean that
it's not really respected.
Well, it's from another neighbourhood frequents it and patronises it and goes to the events where you perform it, and do you know? I'm not trying to say white, but you know, is there any other way of saying blanc? Les blancs, oui, les blancs, ah oui, beaucoup les blancs.
I definitely agree with what you're saying. To be honest, what it is there's other artists. For example, I'd like to give a big shout out to my friend, another guy called Suli Breaks, and what you have.
Yeah, I know him. He's good. He's good. He's good. I've got a photograph of him in my phone. Actually, he's good. Yeah.
What you have with artists.
He's the guy that did R.I.P., isn't he?
Yeah, R.I.P.
Oh, that is an amazing poem. Absolutely, I'm going to get him on the program. Actually,
definitely.
Yeah.
And what you have,
I think it's Ramadan at the moment, so he's observing the Ramadan, isn't he?
I think I'm not sure. I'm not too sure about that personal stuff.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, what you have with artists such as ourselves is the ability to cross it over and provide the same message that we provide to what you may call the mainstream. Also towards our local communities, and being able to translate it. It's more about communication rather than it is about what's the title of the art, if that makes sense. Sure.
And it doesn't matter who the audience is either. But the point I was trying to make was just literally there is a divide. There's a schism, isn't there, between rap and spoken word. It's essentially the same thing, in my view. You are the poets of your generation. Why has it got to be rap on that side, spoken word on that side? Why is that?
Personally, I do both.
Yeah.
Personally, I would say I do both.
But you describe yourself as a spoken word artist, don't you? You don't describe yourself as a rapper.
It's dependent on what I'm doing. Okay. So, for example, right now, I'd say that everything is completely spoken word. I'm not going to start rapping to you.
What's the difference, rap and spoken word? Is it the music, simply?
I think that plays a massive part in it. But to be honest, for example, I've done spoken word pieces where I play piano in the background or there's a guitar in the background.
Oh, we've got piano, you know.
That's great. I've got my pianist with me right now.
Okay.
But yeah, so can I show you another spoken word piece?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
I got this piece. Is called "Daddy, Are You Proud of Me?" And if anyone's listening, you can hear it on my YouTube. If you just search Nego True and you write "Daddy, Are You Proud of Me?" But this takes you through five different father figures or types of fathers, if that would make sense. So I'll just kick it off like this. There's things our parents said to us growing up. They probably think we forgot, but as kids, we soak in those words you said when you were cross. You see, I forgive, I don't forget. I live, I don't regret. And they might call me soft for writing this, you see, but I just got one question and maybe then I'll be free. Daddy, are you proud of me? The first one. I got juice in my cup, holding back tears in my eyes. I heard your mum arguing again non-stop through the night. See, I know it was about money. We've never really had a dime. And I'm too young to work, so I'm considering crime. I figured if I can provide for me, then you won't have to. I used to take your money when it was laying on the dresser. Maybe this is my fault too. I don't know. Maybe I can buy myself my own school uniform, even give back to you. And if I'm honest, I don't want to live that life, but I don't know. Maybe if you and mum have money, then you'll stick around this time. Maybe you'll be here on my birthday. Maybe mum won't cry. So I'm looking in the mirror like, this ain't money. This is dad couldn't do it. I still have to feed my mum money. So I feed me now so you and mum can breathe. Daddy, are you proud of me? Number 2. You see, sending money and spending time are not the same thing. Because mum played dad while you were looking after other women's kids. And you could skip the once a year calls on my birthday. I'd rather know if you meant to have me in the first place. See, mum's always out working to provide. And sometimes she goes over the top with how she disciplines, but then I sit and think she has to play the role of the man or the woman without the help of a guy. See, sometimes I wish you were here. But it's better that you're not if I'm real with it. Because you claim you love me. But I saw you constantly make my mum upset. Then one day disappear and you left me to deal with it. And you want to know why I'm an idiot now? Because I'm with someone. And they're just like you. Shouting abuse and with that same tongue ask me what's wrong an hour later. Just like you. Doesn't understand that respect and fear are not the same thing. Just like you. And when my friends are telling me to up and leave, I bring it to convo. I start to sit and think, I don't think letting go is being free. Because this must be love. I mean, I learnt this from you. And as much as it's as silly as it sounds, I still want to be proud you had me. So I got one question and maybe then I'll be free. Daddy, are you proud of me? Number 3. I never knew you growing up. Mum never really mentioned you. And it's not that I hate you, but if I had to choose the man of the year between you and mum, then I choose everyone but you. You told me to be everything I can be when I finally met you. I used to sit and think I want to be a father, but not like you. Grow up to be a man, but not like you. You know how many men would have killed to have a wife like yours, but not a dad like you? So now I'm the man of the house. And if anyone says I resemble my father in the slightest, I tell them that I'm everything that's not you. See, I'm nothing like you. So I don't have one more question. I'm already free. I couldn't care less if you're proud of me. Number 4. Whiskey in my cup, holding back tears in my eyes. I watched you and learned how to keep all the emotions inside. You know, smile around guests but have no emotion when you're with your family. Some call it pride. People that meet me usually ask how I keep happy all the time. I'm the one that makes all my friends smile. I'm the one they come to for advice. When you ask me what's wrong, I just respond with, I'm cool. Not because you're a bad guy, Dad. I just don't want to disappoint you. See, I got a million questions that I wish I could ask, but I just keep myself to myself as the memories pass. Headphones in, shut out from the world. I wish I could have hired you when I was a kid, so I could have spent more time with you and did the things that fathers and sons did. I always looked up to you, but you were always out of reach. I saw you as a hero, but you know, some heroes are unseen. You told me to be hard, and you taught me to believe. I'm the man now, Dad. People listen when I speak, but that's not enough though, is it? Because I see you every day, and I still don't know you. See, I studied hard and eventually worked. Even helped out a little bit in your church. Respect and fear are not the same thing. Well, at least I learnt that for free. So I got one more question, and maybe then I'll be free. Daddy, are you proud of me? Last one. Whiskey in my cup, tears in my eyes. Everyone's complaining about their dad. I just wish mine was alive. Your auntie always tells me stories about you. I know that she won't forget you. See, it's me, Dad. Remember, everyone says I look just like you. And sometimes I need guidance, so I ask myself what you would do. And if I'm honest, I didn't get to know you how I should have known you, and that's what's really getting to me. I've done a lot since, Dad. Mum says you'd be proud, but we still in that same flat. One day we'll be out. And I'm not little no more. If only you could see. Sitting by your grave, no one else but you and me. And I just got one more question, and maybe then I'll be free. Daddy, are you proud of me?
Nego True in the studio, live and direct, off the top of his head. Where can we see you live, Nego? Are you performing anywhere anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm performing in a lot of places, to be honest with you. I think the best option for anyone to do is to find me on Twitter. It's Nego True. That's NEGOTRUE. Or you can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Nego True Official.